Daily Mail has this report: chants of death to America and death to Israel rang out during a protest in a Michigan city that is recently dubbed the jihad capital of the United States by a Wall Street Journal columnist. Demonstrators gathered in the city in commemoration of Al-Quds Day, an international day to express support for Palestine and oppose the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories. The protest came less than a week after 7 aid workers from World Central Kitchen were killed by an Israeli airstrike in Gaza, drawing global outrage and condemnation. Video shared by the Middle East Media Research Institute shows Tarek Bazi, a local activist, delivering remarks at a podium as chants of death to America sound in the background. Let's watch a little bit of that video. Here it is.
We've been asked in the past, why are our protests on the International Day of Quds, why are they so anti-America? Why don't we just focus more on Israel and not talk so much about America? Gaza has shown the entire world why these protests are so anti-America. Because it's the United States government that provides the funds for all of the atrocities that we just heard about. And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America. Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth." And so when these fools ask us if Israel has the right to exist, the chant death to Israel has become the most...
So the chant, and if you're just listening to the audio podcast, you may not have picked up on that, but the chant that you heard from the crowd, that was them chanting death to America. While the speaker talks about very explicitly why he is anti-American and why our system does not deserve to exist on God's earth. Now, I'm going to try to give these people the thoughtful, well-considered, polite response that they deserve, and as you would expect me to give, which is why I will say to them, shut up, you ungrateful, disgusting brats, and get the hell out of our country. You don't deserve to be here. Get the hell out. We don't want you here. You don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve to live here. Any foreigner who comes here and then calls for the destruction of our country, foreigners who come here and declare themselves to be explicitly anti-American should be deported immediately, no questions asked. It should be automatic. Like the buses should be rolling up at that protest, put everybody on the bus, you're gone, and that's it. We'll send you, we won't even stop so you can pick up your stuff from your house. Well, we'll ship it to you at some point. Or just throw it away, probably more likely. You don't deserve to be here. We don't want you. You apparently don't want to be here. So we have mutual interests now, right? Our opinions align on this point. So you despise America. We despise you as a foreigner who despises America. A foreigner who comes here and despises America, I despise you for that. And you despise me, so leave. Pretty simple. Which, by the way, is exactly what any non-Western country would do. It's how any non-Western country would handle this. Basically, any of the countries where these people originate, that's how they would handle it. Like, what happens, let's consider, what happens if I move to the Middle East, to an Arab country, and then I get up at a podium and call for the death of that country? What happens if I stand up and I say I am anti that country? I'm calling for the death of that country. How long do I last? And that's not deportation, okay? They're not going to just send me back to America. I would be thrilled if that was the response, right? I would be lucky. I would be so lucky if that's all they did. Rather, I think I would not be deported from the country. I would be deported from Earth. via a hole in the ground, which is not even marked by a tombstone. So when I say that these people should be deported, that's me being very nice. That's me calling for leniency, in fact. That is generosity and compassion. Because you could certainly make an argument that calling for death to America is, you can make an argument for treating anyone who says that as a traitor and giving them the punishment prescribed for that crime. You can make that argument. That is a declaration of war against the country, after all. It's a call for violence. And if that had been a white just think about if he had said that more specifically. Like if this had been a white speaker chanting, let's say, death to Muslims, it would be treated as a hate crime. You would not be legally allowed to do that because they would say it's a hate crime. They would say it's incitement to violence, which, by the way, it would be. So when you say it about the entire country, that is you declaring war on the country. That is a call for violence against the country. And we all know that. And listen, I criticize this country all the time. I would never say death to America or call myself anti-American. I love America. I'm America first. But sure, I criticize the country. But this is my home. I was born here. My kids were born here. My parents and grandparents were born here. So when I criticize America, or when you do, that's one thing. Again, saying death to America is not acceptable for anybody to say, but criticisms is one thing. But, when some foreigner comes here and starts immediately complaining and about our country, that's an entirely different story. It's like, you might have a family member who you don't really get along with, and there's some tension there, and you get into arguments, and maybe you get into some rather passionate arguments. You've said some unkind things to each other, whatever it is, the relationship is strained. But when some stranger who's not in your family comes along and insults that family member, well, you don't allow that. Or even if it's a family member you have a strained relationship with, you don't allow that, or you shouldn't. Because your response to that is, hey, it's one thing for me to say that, but who the hell do you think you are? You're not in the family. No, you don't get to say that. You don't get to treat my family that way. And that's the attitude you should have about your family, and that's the attitude we should have about our country. You don't get to be a foreigner coming here saying these things. Are you tired of your favorite cut of beef or chicken costing more and weighing less every time you buy it from the store? Well, Good Ranchers has a sizzling solution for you with their Price Lock Guarantee. During their April Price Shield campaign, Good Ranchers is not just offering a temporary fix, but a long-term solution. They're locking in your price until 2026 when you subscribe to one of their boxes. GoodRanchers.com is where I get the most tender meat that is full of flavor every time. With options like beef, chicken, pork, and wild-caught seafood, they have something for even the pickiest of eaters. Now, there's no reason to order takeout when you can make something far better at home. If your excuse is that you can't cook, well, Good Ranchers has a list of recipes to turn you into an incredible chef overnight. So, with meat prices continuing to go up and quality at the store going down, Good Ranchers Price Shield will not only save you hundreds, but give you the best 100% American quality meat that you'll ever eat. Right now, when you go to GoodRanchers.com and use promo code Walsh, you get their exclusive Price Shield and an additional 10% off your order. This offer ends at the end of the month, so if you want to secure your best price on meat until 2026, go to GoodRanchers.com, use my code Walsh. That's GoodRanchers.com, promo code Walsh today. Although in this case, obviously, again, this isn't just criticism. Here they're saying something that would be outrageous and disgusting no matter who was saying it. My only point is that, in general, I'm just sick to death of foreigners coming here and then insulting our country. You would not tolerate it in your own country, and you know you wouldn't. You know you wouldn't. And yet you think we should tolerate it here? But you would dare to get, offended when you say things like this and people respond in an angry way, and you would dare to get defensive about it? When you know for damn certain that if the shoe's on the other foot and I go to the country you're from and I say the same thing, you would not tolerate it for a second. I'm just tired of it. Just get the hell out. Nobody asked you to come. That guy, who asked you to come here? We didn't ask you to come. We don't need you. Did anyone extend you an invitation? Did anyone say, oh, please come here for it? No one said that. You could have never come here. We'd be fine. We'd be fine without. In fact, we'd be better off without you. So just leave. I mean, anyway, what kind of hypocrite are you? What kind of disgusting hypocrite are you that you think America, is the greatest evil in the world, that it's responsible for all the terrible things happening in the world, and yet you come here and live here, and you live off of the privileges that this country affords you? What kind of disgusting... You're a traitor on multiple levels now. Like, at least have the courage of your convictions. You weak, pathetic coward. You hate this country this much, but you have no problem living here and basking in the luxury that it affords you. I mean, you're the worst of all worlds. Like, it's one thing for you to actually live somewhere else and go around screaming about how America should die. Yeah, that's one thing. That still pisses me off to hear anyone saying that, no matter where they live. But you don't live here, you live somewhere else, and that's how you feel. Okay, whatever. But what are you doing still living here? Because you want to go back to your air-conditioned home, don't you? You want to go back to your air-conditioned home, and you want to have all the privileges, all the luxuries. You go back into your home, and you sit down, and you watch your Netflix, and you have your smartphone and all that. A lot of these people are probably on government assistance as well. So not only that, but a lot of these people are living off of the system that they say should not exist on the planet. That's why, if we were a country run by serious people, we would have a very stringent selection system for deciding who gets to come here. I think there should be a moratorium on all immigration for a period of time, but whenever it opens up again, we should be very, very selective about who we allow in. And one of the selection criteria should be a demonstrable love for America and for its traditions and its people. You should love America above all else. You should love it more than where you're coming from. That's what I think. Because if you don't, then don't come. Like, I'm not saying that everyone in the world should love America more than their own country. Of course not. If you live in another country, you should love your country the most. But if you come here, if you want to come and live here, then you should have an America first attitude. You should be willing to say that. That should be part of the selection criteria. You should be willing to say, I put America before any country, including whatever my country, whatever the country they come from. They should explicitly have to say, I put my country before this one. If you can't say that, then it's fine if you can't say that. Again, I'm not saying that everyone, that all 8 billion people on the globe should have to get up and say that they cherish America above all else. But just don't come here then. No one's forcing you to. And that should be part of the selection criteria. And then we should have the understanding that if you manage to sneak through, even though you hate us, let's say you're willing to go through the sort of pageantry of pretending to have a love for America and its traditions. Well, and you manage to sneak through. Well, the moment you reveal your true nature, the moment you reveal that you actually hate America, one strike and you're out. Your immigration status is immediately revoked. I don't care how long you've lived here. I don't care if you've lived here for 25 years. The moment you get up and you start saying death to America, anti-American, okay, you're gone. See you later. You're never coming back. We don't need you. You got the whole rest of the world you can live in. Or maybe, a lot of those countries won't accept you either. They actually have standards for who they accept. But that's your problem. And nothing, everything I'm saying here, it's like nothing I'm saying should be remotely controversial. It shouldn't even matter where you fall on the political spectrum. It certainly shouldn't matter where you fall, how you feel about the conflict in Israel right now. That should make no difference to anything that I'm saying. This is just a very simple thing. If you hate America, don't come here. And if you want to see America destroyed, then you do not deserve to live here. Not only do you not deserve to live here, but we cannot afford, like, for the sake of our self-preservation as a nation, we cannot afford to allow people like that to live in this country. Because I have kids who are going to live here and inherit this country. Okay, so when you're saying death to America, you're saying death to my children, you disgusting scumbag. That's what you're saying. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.